Powered by Marian University, Ortho Indy, Chick-fil-A, St. Vincent, Glander Roachford, Steve's Flowers and Gifts, Beck Service Center, McDonald's, Indiana Members Credit Union, and Roncalli High School. Rob Brown is on the call. It's time for the McDonald's pregame show.
And a pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Roncalli Rebels basketball here on the Rebel Media Network, CBS Sports 1430, and video streamed on YouTube. Rob Brown and Gary Armbruster with you at the Woodshed on the campus of Roncalli High School, south side of Indianapolis, and good crowd filing in here on a Friday night. Checking out two teams that both coming into this game off of victories. Rebels getting a road win, their first of the season, on Tuesday night at Shelbyville. And Gary, that was a much-needed road win, and much like the game the previous Tuesday against North Central, back and forth, double-figure number of lead changes, but this time the Rebels were able to come out on top.
Well, it was definitely some medicine that we needed to get on the right track. We probably needed that just about as much as anything at that point in time during the season. So it's great for the Rebels to pick up a win against Shelbyville.
Well, New Pal also in action this week. They played on Monday night in a rescheduled game from last Saturday due to the snow that we had over the weekend, and they went on the road and won in overtime at Mooresville. So Roncalli comes into tonight's action at 3-8. They've played 7 games of their 11 that have been decided by 5 points or less, and Tuesday night's effort was the first one of those that they had won. Meanwhile, New Pal comes in at 7-4, winners of 2 in a row after they had dropped their previous 3. And you go back to that game on Tuesday night, Rebels had 3 in double figures, which is usually a good sign historically that indicates a higher probability of winning. But maybe the thing that was unexpected is the sophomore left-hander Max Wars, who missed the first 10 games of the season, still recovering from off-season shoulder surgery. He was injected early into the proceedings off the bench and did not disappoint, had 15 points and 2 rebounds, and was crucial in that win on Tuesday night.
Yeah, that's huge for I'm sure no one saw that coming. So that definitely a huge pickup for the Rebels coming off the bench. It's so important to have bench players come in and contribute, and he can contribute it in a huge way.
Well, the Rebels are looking to win back-to-back games for the first time this season. 2-4 on the home court are the Rebels. Meanwhile, New Pal is 3-3 on the road. Well, as we do before each and every ball game here on the McDonald's pregame show, we caught up with Rebels head coach Micah Wantz to get his thoughts on the previous outing, in this case, the win at Shelbyville on Tuesday night, as well as the matchup tonight with New Pal. Here was that conversation.
We're here with Rebels head coach Micah Wantz. Rebels at home tonight against New Pal here at the Woodshed. Before we get into tonight's matchup, let's go back to Tuesday night. Much like the previous Tuesday, a back-and-forth game. 9 ties, 14 lead changes, but Coach, your team was able to come out on top by 1 point at Shelbyville, 56-55. As you had a chance to look at the tape, I want to ask specifically 2 key points in the game. One, your team came back down 18-6 early late in the first quarter to get a lead by halftime, but maybe more importantly to the outcome, in the fourth quarter, you shut them out for 3.5 minutes, went from down 4 to up 4. What did you see your team do defensively in that stretch that impacted that run?
Well, the one thing, I don't know if this is directly answering your question, but I think we're finally figuring out the toughness that we might need to show to win some of these games, and especially a tough road game, whether it's specifically Johnny getting on the floor there in the second quarter and getting the ball to Jake. And I had us like 1 for 9 up to that point, and then 8 for our next 9 after we did that. And we talk about, hey, that ball kind of knows, like, the ball is going to give the bounce to the teams that are tougher, and all of a sudden now we get a little tougher. We're getting on the floor, and we get 3 good bounces at the end of the game for those threes to go out. So obviously Johnny, we were switching, so more than just Johnny. We did a great job on Kuhn. Later, after a rough start on Williams, I thought we did a better job, and we rebounded the ball well. So great job defensively, and then made enough shots to win at the end.
Another thing that jumped out in the stat sheet after the game in reflection was the turnover number. That had been a big number, 15 plus, actually 17 plus, in the previous 2 games against Cathedral North Central. You had a season low 8 on Tuesday night. What did your team do differently, or what did they do better in that regard?
I just think that they were more sure. Now, in our defense a little bit, I mean, that was Cathedral and North Central, and then Shelbyville's more of a half-court matchup team, so it wasn't as much pressure. But again, I thought we did a nice job of being sure with our passes and making the extra pass and just taking care of the ball, being strong with it. And again, we're shooting the ball too well to not at least get up a shot every time. That's an extra, maybe 9-10 possessions that we had in that game where we could get to the free throw line or get an offensive rebound or make the shot by not turning the ball over.
We don't spend a lot of time in these pregame chats talking about specific players, but I wanted to talk about what Max Wars was able to do after sitting out the first 10 games of the year, still recovering from that off-season shoulder surgery. He was cleared to play. You put him in early, and all he did was score 15 points, first 15 points in a varsity uniform. What did he give you different, or maybe what did he provide for you in that game on Tuesday?
Well, Max has a unique skill set. He's big and strong and can play the post, but he's also got a nice touch, can shoot it. He's great in that high post area against the zone. I had no thoughts at all to play him that much. We thought it was going to be a quick 2 minutes in and out. But he didn't seem as gassed as I thought he would coming back from that injury, and just did a great job. So he's a good passer. He can make shots, has good angles on his post. And he's a talker. He talks, and that's been missing a little bit. And it looks like it's starting to be contagious, and guys are starting to pick up with some of their communication as well.
New Pal, the opponent tonight, they come in 7-4. Certainly the key to their team is their backcourt. With Gizzy and True, they're both high-volume scorers. What do you look for as keys for tonight?
Well, we got to get the ball stopped in transition, and then with True and Gizzy both, especially True, we got to get out to shooters, and they run a lot of sets into a really quick 4-out, 1-in. Our pace and our energy on defense, we have to match them, or they're just going to run around us.
Rebels taking on New Pal tonight here at the Woodshed. Good luck, Coach.
All right, thanks, Rob.
That's Rebels head coach Michael Wantz. We're back after this on CBS Sports 1430.
Marian University is proud to sponsor Roncalli Rebels football on CBS Sports 1430.
Every day, we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game, because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like.
With you at the Woodshed on a Friday night. Only game of the weekend for the Rebels. They were scheduled to head down and play state-ranked Center Grove tomorrow night, but that game has already been postponed due to the pending Snowmageddon Part 2 that's coming tomorrow. So that game has been moved to February the 5th on a Tuesday night. So we will go down to Center Grove. We're just going to wait a couple more weeks before we do so. So this will be the only game for the Rebels this weekend. New Pal was scheduled to go to Franklin tomorrow night. That game has not been postponed, but likely will be as well. So this will be a one-off game, a weekend for both of these teams. Take a look at some of the games we're tracking tonight. On our Around the State update, Brebeuf is at Guerin. That's the only Circle City Conference game tonight. Carmel's at Pike. Center Grove's at Ben Davis. Decatur Central at Greenwood. Perry Meridian at Martinsville. Noblesville at Franklin Central. Warren Central's won 46 in a row. They're 4 wins away from tying the state record, which is 50 set by the Greg Oden, Mike Conley, Lawrence North Wildcats from the mid-2000s. They're hosting Lawrence Central tonight, a team they beat in the Marion County Final just 4 days ago, and Whiteland is hosting Franklin. And the city tournament Final Four, which I know the city tournament is near and dear to your heart, Gary, that was scheduled for tomorrow night at Tech, but those games have been pushed back to Monday night.
Okay.
And that semifinal is Cathedral at Ritter, against Ritter, I should say. Those games played at Tech, and then the bottom half is Addicts at Howe. And actually, that game getting moved to Monday night allows the Rebel coaching staff to go see Ritter live.
Nice.
Because Ritter will be in here on Friday night with the rescheduled Center Grove game. That will be the next opponent for the Rebels.
Yeah, the Tech gym has a few good memories for me. We didn't win much there, but we fought hard.
Well, we turn our attention now in our McDonald's pregame show to see what Gary has on his mind for tonight's keys to the game.
Well, you already mentioned we're not going to play tomorrow night, so I'm going to start with my 5th one first. It's going to be interesting to see. I think you change the way you coach maybe to some extent when you have back-to-backs. So there's no back-to-back this weekend. It'll be interesting to see if Michael does anything differently, maybe that he wouldn't do, if we were playing Center Grove tomorrow night. So that's number 1. Sustain it. I think the Rebels have come out traditionally this year strong in the first quarter and wane in the second quarter. They come out third quarter, wane in the fourth quarter. So I think it's very important tonight, sustain that effort. And so effort being my 3rd one, Coach Wantz talked about it a little in the pregame show, toughness. It doesn't take any talent at all to give effort. And doing a little bit of research on the Rebels, I just sense that they need to put their effort a little bit higher, make every possession count. So, it's probably going to be a half-court game, I would guess. Maybe played in the high 50s, low 60s. You got to take care of the ball, make every possession count. And lastly, just don't do more than you can't do. You got to play within yourself. So I know it's a little cliche. You got a young team that's struggling or has struggled. You just got to play within yourself. So those are my 5 keys to the game.
Well, that last one calls to mind, and Gary, you and I are of a vintage that we can remember back when former Indiana University coach Bob Knight, when the Coach Knight show on Sunday afternoons was much watched television on Channel 4
with
at
Chuck.
noon on a Sunday with Chuck Marlowe. And more than once, Coach Knight would say, after going through a film clip and praising something that a player of his had done, he talked about you have to know what you are and what you are not. Yeah. And I think that's what you're getting at tonight.
Well, I think it's maybe more important to know what you are not.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think Coach Wantz talked about it a little bit too, communication. Again, doing some research on the team, I honestly haven't been able to see him much. So I do know as a young team, communication is just huge. And so if Max gives us that, that's much needed. So I think it'll be interesting to see if Max can come in and do some similar things he did the other night.
Well, this is the 12th meeting all-time between these two programs. Rebels lead the all-time series 9-2. They began their annual series resumed their annual series back in the 2012-2013 season. And the Rebels are 5-0 all-time against the Dragons here at the Woodshed. New Pal did win last year's matchup. It was a tight one at New Pal in Hancock County. That was a 55-49 score. It's a tie game going into the fourth quarter, but the Rebels managed just 7 points in the final 8 minutes. Missed a couple free throws late, and New Pal was able to win a 6-point decision. So we've got a good one for you tonight here at the Woodshed. It's 3-8. Roncalli coming off first road win of the season, taking on 7-4. New Palestine Dragons. Take our second and final 2-minute break here on the McDonald's pregame show. When we come back, we'll have all the particulars, starting lineup, and the tip for tonight's game from the Woodshed. Stay with us. We're back after this on the Rebel Media Network.
Every day we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game, because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like. Every day we go farther, try.
What time do you have to be back to heaven?
Milto Cleaners, we're pickup artists when it comes to your clothes.
Every day we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game, because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine.
Tonight's national anthem, provided by the Roncalli High School Band. I don't care where you are, what gym you're in, but a high school basketball game is better when the band's in the building. Let's take a look at the lineups if you're ready now. For the visitors from New Palestine, 13 in the scorebook. Maximus Gizzi, their leading scorer at the one guard, 6'1", the junior, averaging 18 points per game. Matthew True, 6'1", a senior, averaging 15 points per game. On the front line, Dylan Romine, a 6'2", senior, averaging 8.5 points per game. Dawson Eastus, a 6'5", junior, averaging 15 a game. And Kyle King, a 6'4", junior, averaging 2 points per game. Trent Whitaker, the head coach, 36-48, his record at New Pal, assisted by Brian Bowen and Jeremy Large.
Volume.
For the Rebels, 11 in the scorebook. Johnny Brunk at one guard, 6'2", the sophomore, averaging 9 points and a team-high 4.7 assists. Second guard, Anthony Donahue, coming off a 13-point game, 6'2", the sophomore, averaging 12 points per game. Jacob Denny, the third guard, 6'2", a senior, averaging 11.7 per game. On the front line, Aiden Looney, 6'3", a junior, averaging 7 points per game, and Daniel Asher in the middle, 7 points per game for the 6'7" junior. Michael Wantz, the head coach, winningest coach in Roncalli history, 244 and 125, his record in 17 seasons. He's 6-1 against New Pal. Assisted by Ian Brown and John Hasty. Rebels in the home whites, royal blue script Rebels, and the red numerals with the royal blue trim. Red cross art logo on either hip. New Palestine in the traveling reds. White New Palestine block lettering, white numerals, and the white and black trim. Veteran officiating crew tonight led by Steve Mazingo. Our crew chief out there with Sean West and Josh Cook. Rebels heading right to left in this first half. Away from their bench toward the south goal. It's Eastus and Asher to jump it up, and the back tap's controlled by the Rebels. Man-to-man for the Dragons to start. Romine checks Brunk out front. Denny swings out to the right side to get it. ISO'd against Gizzy down the baseline, got in deep, and he stepped out of bounds.
They just got a little bit too deep. Got to know where you are. And again, that's what I talked about before the game. Take care of the ball. Don't make mistakes.
They had the side ISO'd. New Powell with the basketball. Gizzy. Over to Romine. Gizzy off a screen out front, fakes on Denny, leaves for True, a long three left side. That's off the back of the rim. Rebound is fought for, last touched by King. It goes back to the Rebels. No score here early. To the rim, Donahue's fouled by Eastus and shoots it twice.
That was a great catch and dish by Asher. That nice look.
Donahue shoots two. The guy you want there, if you're the Rebels, he's a 92%er.
There you go.
First one up and in. And that's not just over a couple attempts. He comes in 24 of 26. First one good, second one good.
Nice stroke.
The sophomore Donahue puts the Rebels on the board to start it. 2-0 the score. Less than a minute in. King, right side, True. He's wide open, but didn't shoot the three. Now Gizzy looks at the three. Played by Brunk on a switch. Gives to True, trailing. Cut off by Donahue on a drive. Pass in the paint to Romine. It's poked free out to the timeline. Scooped up by Gizzy. He's in the paint, kicks it back out to Romine for a three that's no good. Rebound, Looney up high to get it. Here comes Brunk on a push. Cut off in the corner, gives to Looney trailing. Donahue down the lane. Lost the handle, they turn it over. Gizzy through the midcourt traffic. Rebels are back defensively. Gizzy back with it, top of the key. Got the step on Donahue. Fall away's way off. Rebounded by Looney. Aiden on the run. Lost the handle. Out to Denny. Right side three. Long with it. Rebound Donahue fought for it with a couple of Dragons. Just knocked off the inline. Bounces off the head of Ben North, Rebel science teacher, who's manning the door tonight.
I like the Rebels. I like their energy level.
Ben North lost the glasses in that exchange. Brunk lobs to Asher. He fakes, shoots off the board and in over King. Asher with a 3-inch height advantage and able to finish. Rebels up 4-0.
If Daniel can continue that effort, Rebels will look good.
Romine dribble hand off to True, who kicks in the corner. Eastus tries a high arcing three that's good.
Well, you know they're going to keep shooting, and found the bucket that time.
They, like the Rebels, average just over 6 threes a game. Dragons shoot just 37%, the Rebels 43. Denny got the step on Gizzy and got to the rim to lay it in. He turned the corner. They ISO'd the side again, but this time Jacob able to get to the rim and finish. 6-3 the score. Good screen roll, and True sets up King on a nice finish. King's first two, comes in averaging just 2. In there to be physical. Led the state in sacks with 18 as a junior on that state championship undefeated New Pal football team. Left side, Denny. Cut off on a drive, backs it out, still has the dribble. Now he attacks, scoops up a wild shot that's tapped up and in by Asher, who gets to the rim.
I like Daniel's game tonight.
Daniel with 4 early. High activity. Back to a 3-point Rebel lead. And another roll to the basket. King found by Romine. Boy, the Rebels lost track of King on 2 straight possessions. And to his credit, he's been able to finish at the rim. 8-7 the score, Rebels on top. 4:49 to go first quarter. Looney left side ISO against True. Now down to Asher, left block. King pushes him out a little bit further. Daniel turnaround jump hook is off the back of the rim. It's no good. Looney tries to put back and draws a foul. And shoots it twice. That foul on Romine. His first, team second. Aiden shoots 2. First one up, first one in. Aiden is 75%er on the year. Leads the team in rebounds at 5 a game. Tees up the second one on the way and good. Rebels are a perfect 4 for 4 from the line in the early going, and the lead is 3. 10-7 the score. 4.5 to go first quarter. Left side, Gizzy on the catch. Brunk's up tight. Gizzy goes behind his back, goes to the rim, puts it up and in over the outstretched hand of Asher. Tough drive and a good finish by Gizzy. New Pal's been able to get to the rim here a couple times, Gary.
Yeah, that's kind of concerning. No help.
Brunk finds Looney top of the circle. Asher doubled in the post, turn and face, lost the handle, fell to the deck, it's stolen away. Gizzy on the run, kicks to Eastus in the corner. He drives to the foul line, bounce in low to King. Asher bodied him out of bounds, and a foul called. Asher's foul, his first. That's the first on the Rebels.
Well, we talked about this before the game started, knowing what you can do and what you can't do. Daniel had the ball down there, fumbled a little bit. Probably should have just gone up with the ball. And then comes down and makes a mistake defensively. So stay within yourself.
Maxon Hook is in, 6'2", a junior. He was the leading tackler on the football team this fall. King hit the first free throw. He's just a 35%er on the year. It's 5 points early. That one caroms off. Looney can't collect it, and it goes off the end line. The possession continues. We're tied at 10. King's career high is 6. He has 5 in the first 4 minutes.
How many football players do we have on the New Pal team?
4 altogether.
4 altogether. How many play?
True's 3 is way short, nicks the rim. You've got King, who led the state in sacks with 18. Hook was their leading tackler. And there was one other that played significant minutes.
Yeah.
Rebels with the ball, 10-10 the score. 3.5 to go, first quarter. Brunk operating right point. Takes the dribble to the top of the circle. Backs it out against Hook, gets a screen from Asher, 3 behind it, and an illegal screen called on Asher. That's his second. Jacob Hockett is the other answer to your question, Gary. He had 2 interceptions in the state championship game.
Well, you got Max Wars in the game, so we'll see what happens here.
He comes in for Asher, who picked up 2 fouls but did have 4 points. 10-10 the score. Gizzy doubled out front as the Rebels trap the ball screen. Gizzy drives on Brunk, steps through on a nice fake, but he missed the shot. Lost the rebound as Wars rips it away.
There you go.
Outlet ahead to Brunk. Johnny through the midcourt traffic, got to the rim, put it up and put it in. Boy, that one hung on the lip and thought about it for a minute before Brunk got the roll.
Little Rebel roll there.
Home court roll indeed. Johnny's first 2.
Max Wars picked up that rebound, so he's automatically coming in off the bench, made a nice contribution to the game.
Gizzy into the lane, draws a foul on Donahue. That foul called on the floor. Jack Walker slipped into the game as well for the Dragons. He's a 6'6" senior. He is signed to play baseball at Indiana University next year.
Did you say Gizzy is also?
Gizzy's only a junior.
Okay.
He's got it in the left corner. He's their leading scorer. Gives to Romine, who runs into a 3 that's good.
Gizzy might have the best athletic name I've seen in a while. Maximus Gizzy is his given name, I think.
Yep, first lead of the night for the Dragons. Donahue picked up his dribble over to Brunk. Wars is open in the corner. Pulls Walker away from the hoop. Now he backs him in, fakes, up and under off the board, too strong. And the rebound grabbed by Gizzy. He looks it over, jams on the brakes at the foul line, takes the dribble to the right wing. Walker wants it in the corner, but there's too much traffic. So True jumps up a 3 over Wars out front that's wide left. And Looney takes the rebound ahead to Brunk. 13-12 inside 2 minutes, first quarter. Rebels trail by 1. Brunk in deep, gives to Wars. Max fumbled the pass, but he got it back. Now it's stolen away. Poked free from behind by True. Another Rebel turnover. 3rd of the game, make it 4th. Down the baseline, True kicks it out to Romine, who saves it right to Donahue. Now the Rebels have on a run. Donahue to the bucket, foul line pull up blocked. He got it back. Now he tees up a 3. That's short. Looney's bumped en route to a rebound attempt and a foul call.
Nice hustle with Looney.
So Aiden's hustle kept that possession alive. Dragons were about to head the other way with it. Walker's foul, his first, team third. Eric Raudebusch is on. 6'4", junior for the Dragons. Third sub into the game for them. 1:28 left in the first quarter. Rebels trail 13-12. Denny fires into Looney. Out to Wars for a topside three. Bang! He got it. Max is 2 for 2 from three-point range on the young season.
I talked about early, coming off the bench and making an immediate impact, and Max has done that tonight.
Walker backs in on Wars. Out to Gizzy.
I tell you what I love about Max is he's creative. He wants to do something.
Walker got the step on Wars and did the foul, but his shot ricocheted off the rim.
Yeah, that wasn't very smart. He got out of position there.
Rebels are hedging the ball screen and trapping the ball screens out high. Wars has fouled his first, team fourth. Walker shoots 2, a 67% on the year.
I really do. I think the Rebels came out with a lot of energy, much more so than what I was looking at in some of the research that I was doing earlier.
Walker, the left-hander. Pitcher and a first baseman at the high school level, but he'll play baseball at Indiana University next spring, the spring of 2020. Second free throw is short, and Looney by himself, another rebound. 15-14 the score. Rebels a 1-point lead, final minute. First quarter from the Woodshed. Happy you're with us on a Friday night. Looney facing up on Raudebusch. Drives on him, pull up, 10-footer, got it. That's a good move by Looney to drive into the open spot. Recognize where the opportunity was. 17-14. 3-point lead. Rebels have led by as much as 4 in the quarter. New Pal 1. Romine out far left. Pulls it back and hands to Gizzy. Gizzy not really a three-point shooter for a point guard. That's more True's forte. He's hit a team best 28.
Yeah, but Gizzy, man, he likes to push it.
He's got the ball winding down as the quarter hits the final 15 seconds with the Rebels up 3. Gizzy at the volleyball line with 10. Rebels jump the ball screen. Gizzy down the lane. Runner up wide left. Got his own rebound. Slips by the defense. Put it in. Draw the foul.
Yeah, you just hate to see that, Rob. He put up a prayer, missed it, and we just can't get the rebound. And then he gets his own rebound and gets fouled.
Fouls on Brunk, his first, team fifth. Gizzy has a chance to tie the game here. 3.6 seconds to go in the quarter. Rebels lead 17-16. Free throw up, free throw in.
Yeah.
Time for the Rebels, though. Brunk, head of steam into the forecourt, pull up, volleyball line 3, off to the right. He hit a 35-footer at the end of the first quarter on Tuesday night. That one was off to the right.
That was a good look.
It was a good look. We head to the second quarter, all tied up at 17. We'll step out for 30-second and come right back. Quarter number 2 up next. Stay with us on CBS Sports 14.
I think that's something that we've really been lacking, and he points people in the right direction, and it's just the second game this season. That's impressive.
New Pal with the basketball to start the second quarter. We'll set the lineups on the run. Walker in the left block, turn and face, finds Hook. He's in the lane, gives to Eastis in the corner for 3. That's off the front of the rim, and the Dragons come up the back of the Rebels. A foul called. Brunk and Wars had the seal out.
Yeah, it was a nice job by Johnny there.
That foul on Walker, his second, team 4. So let's set the lineups. In for the Rebels to start this second quarter. Brunk, Looney, Denny, Wars, and Nick Spearing has come on, the 6'1 junior. New Pal has Gizzy, Hook. Eastis is back in. King and Raudebusch. Bronk on the right side against Hook. Gets a screen from Looney. Now Aiden flares out, gets it right side. Spearing on the wing to Denny, played by the bigger man, Eastis. Drives to the corner, cut off. Out to Wars, facing up on King. Looney resets between the circles. 40 seconds into this second quarter, and the Rebels lead, or we're tied up, beg your pardon, 17-17. Denny left side down to Wars, turn to face in the left corner, down the baseline. He draws a foul as he swings the ball through on King. King's first and the team's fifth, so both teams with top 5 team fouls in the half.
Yeah, Max gets the ball on the wing, squares up, makes a nice first step, and draws a foul.
Brandon Berger coming in, 6'5" senior. Be a linebacker at Ball State in the fall. Brunk inbounding baseline left. In the corner to Berger. Gives to Spearing. Nick at the top. Down to Berger in the block. Brandon flips it back out to Brunk. Johnny, UPAL fans wanted to travel. Johnny's in the paint, falling away. Foul line jumper in and out. King and Berger fight for it, and it's going to go on Berger.
Boy, I didn't see that.
That's either a play on or yeah. Berger did not play in Tuesday night's game, and there was an interesting comment, Gary, after the game. Michael Wantz talked about Berger's involvement in the game and talked about how the matchups did not dictate an opportunity for Berger, but despite that, he was involved and engaged on the bench.
Yeah. Well, he's similar to Wars. He talks. He's out there
Gizzy drives on Spearing, and Nick picked his pocket. Now Brunk hits it ahead to Denny. Jacob sails to the goal and lays it in.
Nice assist by Brunk.
That got started by the strip from Spearing, who poked it free from Gizzy on the switch.
You know, back to Berger. He's such a good athlete.
King rolls to the basket. Rebels foul him.
You know, offensively, he's not going to help you much, but, man, he ought to be able to get in, get some rebounds, play some defense.
Brunk is there on the foul. Johnny's second foul, team 7. King shoots 2. He's 1 for 2 so far tonight. First one up and in. He's tied his career high with 6 in the early going of the second quarter. Brunk has a seat. Donahue's back in. King certainly does not shoot free throws like a 35%er. He came in 7 out of 20.
Nice stroke.
And he rolls that one good.
Nice roll. I would not have believed you if you would have told me that before he shot, that he was a 35% shooter.
19-19, our third tie. Spearing
Nice
finds Denny on a nice back cut, and he lays it in.
Nice
Boy,
pass.
Denny flared out, and Spearing found him on the bounce. Jacob scored 4 straight. He has a team-high 6. Rebels back up top by 2.
Really nice look there.
True's back in the game for the Dragons.
Oh, nice.
Berger jumped in front of King and stole it away. Anticipates. Here comes Spearing, who's at the point guard controls with Brunk on the bench. Denny has it left side against Raudebusch. Down to Berger. Brandon feeling his way against King. Turns the corner.
How about
got
that?
To the rim, missed the shot, got his own. He puts it up. King blocked the shot and a foul.
Yeah.
Boy, Brandon Berger with a little freelance action.
Well, like I said before, Brandon's such a good athlete. He's probably not the best offensive player you're going to see in the post, but he's a strong kid, works hard.
Brandon shoots 2. Second foul on King. Free throw up and in.
Nice stroke.
Well, Gary, it's a testament to Brandon's athleticism. He had not played basketball since he played on the freshman team. So he had not played in 3 seasons. And to be able to step right in and contribute on a varsity team. I
know there's probably some conversations with Coach Wantz in the hallway with Brandon saying, hey, come out and help us. And he has.
Well, and as he and I walked out of the Cecina game together when he had 8 points off the bench, and I mentioned to him that, hey, any points that you give the Rebels on a nightly basis are bonus points.
That's exactly right.
You're in to rebound and defend and give fouls. He hits 2 free throws there. The Rebels have matched their biggest lead of 4. Romine's in. He backs. Oh, and they lost track of Eastis. And a nice find by Romine. Eastis lays it in.
Yeah, Brandon lost him on the baseline there.
As you've talked, Gary, the Rebels have given up a concerning amount of layups.
Yeah. I still like our interview.
Spearing pump fakes, pulls in long 2. High arcers off the mark and rebounded by Romine. Hook and Wars got tangled up away from the play. Drew jumps and throws a pass into the student section.
I'm not sure what the cheerleader's name is over there, but she missed the ball.
Aiden Looney comes in for Wars.
Might be noted that the Roncalli cheerleader outfits are very similar to the New Pal unis.
Yeah, just about a letter's difference. That's about it. 23-21, 4:40 to go first half.
Little Chris Webber there.
Spearing drives to the bucket, shot blocked on the way up, and he drew the foul. Boy, Nick creating something out of nothing there.
As I was getting ready to say, I like the Rebels' energy level. They seem like they are here to play and aren't backing down.
Spearing shoots 2, first one up and in. It looked like Gizzy blocked that cleanly, and he probably did, but they called the foul on Romine, who was the secondary defender.
Rob, I still get a little bit how far I go back. Nick Spearing's dad was one of my players back in about 1983, 84.
Pat Spearing, who was a really good player here in the late 80s, early 90s.
We made it to the Deanery Championship, I believe.
Hook drive, and he throws an errant pass that deflects off of Berger last. Stays at the New Pal end.
Patrick never saw a shot he didn't like.
Indeed. So I've heard. 25-21, the Rebel lead is 4. Dan Bauer, our man on the scene for the girls game tonight on the west side, as Stan Benja's team is at Covenant Christian tonight. Lady Rebels trail 10-7 mid-first quarter. Keep you updated on that throughout the night. Gizzy at the point. Romine, ball around the horn to Eastus, played by Berger. True is yet to get going. He was the Hoosier Heritage Conference Co-Player of the Week last week. Had 23 points. And he hits a 3 there to get on the scoreboard as soon as I mention him. 23 points in that overtime win at Mooresville on Monday night. Spearing, right corner Denny. Jacob brings the ball around a Berger screen, stumbles into the paint, finds Donahue in the corner. Anthony tied up. Michael wants time. And did they see him in time? Yes.
Yes. Yeah, Michael.
He saw the turnover coming.
Yeah, Donahue was struggling in the corner, and Michael did the right thing, came out.
Turnover was pending.
Coming to the 10-second line and immediately calling the timeout.
25-24 our score on the Chick-fil-A board with 3:43 to go here in the second quarter.
Rob, tonight's game is sponsored by Marian University. They ask, what are you made of? Find out now by filling out an application. It's free and it takes less than 15 minutes. Visit them at marian.edu. Go Knights.
Well, our friends at Marian University, along with the good folks at St. Vincent Sports Performance, title sponsors of the Rebel Media Network.
We got some interesting news from Marian today. They are initiating a 2-year college, St. Joe College from Rensselaer. There's a connection there. And the new executive director I'm not exactly sure what his title is. The new executive director of St. Joe College at Marian is one Jeff Jordan.
Well, how about that?
Roncalli graduate. We're very proud of
Donahue,
Jeff.
quick 3 out of the inbound. Berger goes up to get the rebound in traffic. Tries to kick it back out. He's in against Eastus. Lost the handle. Gizzy took it away and drew the foul.
Yeah, Brandon, he's shaking his head a little bit.
Well, just because he's strong enough and he doesn't cough the ball up doesn't mean he's not being fouled.
Yeah, that was a questionable call. He got tied up a little bit.
Gizzy shoots a 1-and-1. He's a 75%er. Rebels lead by 1, 25-24. 3:35 to go, first half. Gizzy's free throw is up and in. He has 6.
I like Gizzy. He's a good floor general. I can tell they go as he goes.
Second one on the way. That one kicks up and in over the front of the rim. So Gizzy's 2 free throws have given New Pal its first lead since 13-12. 26-25. Berger at the elbow. Flips it over to Spearing right side. Denny behind the screen. Shoots a 3.
Nice.
Bang!
Nice.
He got it. Double screen. When Berger and Looney were running interference at the top. And Denny knocked down the triple. Jacob 7 in the quarter. 9 in the ball game. Rebels back up 2. Eastus in the left corner against Berger. Drives it into the foul line. Driving kick. Raudebush open for 3. That's good.
Yep.
Raudebush just his second 3 of the season. And the Dragons back on top. Inside 3 minutes to go. In the first half, Donahue right side. Got the step on True, doubled. Out to Looney for three. That's long. And the rebound fought for, what's the call? Berger pulled Eastus down. And so Brandon called for the foul.
Well, I didn't see it, Rob, but Eastus, let's see here.
He's
Where is it?
6'5".
Yeah, I was going to say, he went down like a fish out of the pond or something. And
yeah, he went down like a preschooler going to nap time.
I'm glad you came up with a better one than I did.
29-28. Rebels trail by one.
Brandon's strong, but I'm sorry.
He's not that strong.
He's not that strong.
Eastus shoots a 1-and-1. Free throw up and in. Well, New Pal shoots a lot of free throws, averages almost 24 attempts a game. By comparison's sake, the Rebels average 15 a game. Second one by Eastus is good. He has 4 in the quarter, 7 in the ball game. And now New Pal has its biggest lead of the night, 3, 31-28. Wars is back in for Berger, who picked up his third foul. Looney turning face, right side to Donahue. Anthony back to Denny. Jacob turns the corner, sees Part.
Nice.
He gets to the rim, and he finishes
Really
with the right
nice,
hand.
nice strong drive.
That's what he does. Turn the corner and get to the rim. Back within one. And a travel call. Eastus against Denny's pressure turns it over out front. Denny's the first player for either team to get to double figures. He has 11. Just past the top of the hour, so if we get a quick moment, we'll take a station identification when we get the next opportunity. Rebels trail by one, 2:05 left first half from the woodshed. Donahue picked up his dribble, finds Spearing left side. Nick down to Looney, posting on Hook. Looney, mid left block, finds Spearing in the corner. Nick fumbled it out of bounds. Boy, he was waiting to shoot it before he caught it. And the Rebels turn it over.
Where are we at on turnovers?
It's a good question. I'm going to ballpark 7.
I'm sorry.
I try to keep track of my
I'm
head,
sorry.
but it's a rough number at best. 31-30. New Pal has the basketball on a 1-point lead. Both teams out of fouls. True, a long three. That's in and out. And a makeup call underneath. Rebound foul called on Hook. And Spearing shoots a 1-and-1. So while we walk to the other end, let's go ahead and just past the top of the hour, pause quickly for this 10-second station identification, reminding you you're listening to Roncalli Basketball on CBS Sports 1430.
Indy's home for hoops is CBS Sports 1430, WXNT AM Indianapolis, WZPL HD3 Greenfield, Indianapolis.
Spearing makes the first, makes the second. Nick's 4 for 4 from the line, and the Rebels are back on top. 32-31. Rob Brown and Gary Armbruster with you. Jerica Bean back in our CBS Sports 1430 studios, keeping us on track and on time. Gizzy drives in the paint on Denny, kicks to Eastus. He fakes the three on Wars. Back to Gizzy at the rim. He pump fakes. Denny got a hand on the basketball, and Gizzy's still able to finish.
Yep.
Trent Whitaker wanted a foul, but that was a clean block. We had a good look at it, but credit to Gizzy, he was still able to finish. Donahue steps into an open three. That's long. And the rebound scooped up by True. Up the floor to Gizzy. He wants to push. Steps into a three over Spearing. That's short. Rebound, Looney takes it away from Denny. Aiden brings it up himself. Michael Wantz says, let's slow things down a bit with 50 seconds to go in the quarter. Both teams over the foul limit. Denny in the right corner with 45 seconds to go in the half. Picked up his dribble, and a foul called on Eastus. Boy, the Rebels were bailed out there. That possession was going nowhere. That's 3 on Eastus, making his second. Team
yeah, they
9.
called 44. 44, is that right?
Well, there's no 44 in the game.
Yeah, it's 40.
Yeah, second on Eastus. 19 foul, though, so this is a 1-and-1 for Wars. First one up, no good. And Hook stumbled out of bounds. He grabbed the rebound, but a foul called on Denny.
Pushed.
So Wars missed the free throw. Now the Dragons are in the double bonus, as that's team foul 10. New Pal has attempted 8 free throws here in the quarter. Hook's first free throw is way off. Now he's a 30%er, and he shot that like a 30%er.
Yes, it was very no-gel Eastern-like.
No, yes. Johnny Brunk is back in for the Rebels.
I should apologize to No Jail, though. He's been on a roll here recently.
He's been able to do some other things.
Yeah, sorry.
One more for Hook. Second one up. That one's too strong.
Nice
and
rebound.
Looney has the rebound.
Nice rebound.
So no harm done there.
Coach
Bronx back in at the controls. The Rebels down 1 and 35 seconds to go in the half. Both teams out of fouls. Both teams in the double bonus. Johnny out front against Gizzy. Hands over to Wars. Jack Walker's back in the game for New Pal. Wars dangerous pass to Brunk. Johnny handles over to Denny at the right point. Back to Johnny top side with 15 seconds to go in the half. Wars flashes to the elbow with 12. Over to Brunk right side with 9. Johnny drives on Gizzy, cut off. Flips it across court to Donahue for a 3 that's partially blocked. Rebound picked up by True. His heave is way short at the buzzer. And that will do it. So a tight game here in the first half from the Woodshed. The Dragons of New Palestine outscore the Rebels 16-15 in the second quarter, and as a result, take a 33-32 lead into the halftime break. Stay tuned. We'll step out for 60 seconds. When we come back, we'll have all the particulars on tonight's Beck's Service Center halftime show. Coming up next on CBS Sports 1430.
Helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like.
Sponsor Roncalli Rebels football on CBS Sports.
Every day we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game, because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back,
We're still going
whatever your
strong on
normal
the
looks
Rebel
like.
Media Network. Time for the Beck Service Center halftime show on CBS Sports 1430.
Marian University presents Roncalli Rebels back.
Well, Rob Brown, Gary Armbruster back with you at the Woodshed. Good one for you here tonight. Entertaining first half. New Pal leads Roncalli 33-32. Let's look at how the first half unfolded. 5 ties, 6 lead changes in the first half. We were all tied at 17 at the end of 1. Rebels' biggest lead in that first quarter was 4. New Pal's 1. Rebels again had a 4-point lead in the second quarter at 23-19 and again at 25-21. Before the Dragons regained the lead, had their biggest lead at 3, 31-28. Rebels then scored 4 straight to regain the advantage, but New Pal scored the final 2 points of the half, outscoring the Rebels in the process in the second quarter 16-15. Jacob Denny has 11 points to lead Roncalli. Maximus Gizzy has 9 points to lead the Dragons. So not a lot in this first half separating these two teams, Gary, and be interesting to see what sorts of tweaks are made by these coaches at halftime.
Well, you're right, Rob. It's kind of first half's played out as the season's played out a little bit for the Rebels. I believe you've mentioned in the pregame that there are 5 games that we had lost by within 2 possessions or 5 points. So it's a tight game. Two very well coached teams that played very similarly. I really like what the Rebels have done is come out with their energy level. Seems like it's just a little step up than what I've seen in the past. So I suspect the second half is going to be very much similar to the first half. It's going to come down to 1 or 2 possessions at the end, and maybe the Rebels can pull this one out.
Well, we'll go ahead and take our first break here on the Beck Service Center halftime show. When we come back, we'll run down tonight's first half numbers as New Pal leads the Rebels 33-32. Stay with us. Back with more after this on the Rebel Media Network.
Every day we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game, because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like.
What time do you have to be back to heaven?
Milto Cleaners, we're pickup artists when it comes to your clothes.
Every day we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game. Because you were
33-32. Let's look at the first half numbers. 8 players played for New Pal in that first half. 7 scored, led by Max Miskizzi, who had 9 points. Dawson Eastus and Kyle King each with 7. 3 apiece for Matthew True, Eric Raudebusch, and Dylan Romine. Jack Walker had a point. Max and Hook did not score. For the Rebels, 8 played, all scored. Jacob Denny with a team-high 11. 4 points apiece for Aiden Looney, Nick Spearing, and Daniel Asher. 3 points for Max Wars, 2 apiece for Johnny Brunk, Brandon Berger, and Anthony Donahue. Rebels hitting 2 threes in the first half. Denny and Wars each connecting. New Pal hit 4 threes. True, Raudebusch, Romine, and Eastus all hitting 1. Rebels were 10 of 11 from the foul line, while New Pal was 9 for 13. Rebels trail by 1, 33-32 at the break. We'll step out for 2 minutes. When we come back, we'll take you up to the third quarter. From the Woodshed, up next on the Rebel Media Network.
Every day we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game. Because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like.
What time do you have to be back to heaven?
Milto Cleaners, we're pickup artists when it comes to your clothes.
Every day we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho,
we're back with you at the Woodshed, heading toward the second half. Rebels trail New Pal 33-32. Well, earlier this week, official word came down that our good friend Matt Taylor, Roncalli High School alumnus, Rebel Media Network alumnus, was made the full-time permanent voice on radio for the Indianapolis Colts, and we could not be any more proud of our buddy Matt, who did a great job in his 18-game audition, so to speak, and just could not be happier for our guy who worked so hard to put himself in that position, and boy, did he deliver big time.
Well, you texted me earlier in the week and told me that, and so I texted Matt and congratulated him. I wanted to make sure that he didn't forget who hired him first in Marion County, anyway.
That's right.
Because he was our play-by-play guy 12 years ago, his senior year at Franklin. He'd do our games on Friday night and then go suit up and play for Franklin
he was
the next day.
He was the voice of Roncalli football from 2007 to 2010, 4 seasons.
We're very proud of Matt. Matt's a great, great guy. He does a great job, and, he may be the play-by-play guy for the Colts. I hope he is for the next 40 years.
Well, it's the only time in my lifetime. I've done this with baseball games since I was little. Huge Marty Brenneman guy with the Reds. Certainly done it with Mark Boyle and Pacer games and NBA games, but first time in my life that I watched an NFL game with the radio, with the volume, the TV volume down and the radio synced.
Yeah.
And we did that for most of the 18. Could not be happier for our good friend Matt Taylor. We're ready to get going here in the third quarter from the Woodshed. Entertaining game thus far. Close games have been the norm for this Rebel club. 7 of their 11 have been decided by 5 points or less. New Pal has played just 3 games decided by 5 points or less. They're 2-1. Rebels have the basketball heading left to right from our vantage point toward the stage end, the north end here at the Woodshed. Original starters on the floor for the Rebels. Donahue, Brunk, Denny, Asher, and Looney. Brunk and Asher were in foul trouble most of the first half. Limited minutes. Asher, his first catch, down the block, spins, jump hook up, too strong. Rebounded by Eastus.
Too strong, but it's a strong move. It's a strong move.
New Pal has its original starting 5 on the floor as well. That's Gizzy, True in the backcourt, Romine, Eastus, and King on the front line. Romine cut off on a drive by Brunk. Maybe got away with a walk. Gizzy steps into a 3 out front that's short. Rebound tapped out, and the Rebels watch it, and it's scooped up by Romine. Boy.
That was a dumb foul on Jake Denny. Guy reached in.
Long rebounds equate to, or 3-point shots equate to long rebounds, and if you're a guard, you've got to be alert. You got to be ready when that 20-footer goes up. First foul on Denny. Make it the second. First on the Rebels in the half. Romine drives on Brunk, falling away. Foul called on the floor. That's a tight one. And that's the third on Johnny.
Yeah, that was a little ticky-tacky for me.
Foul called on the floor, so a non-shooting situation. Good to see our friend Joey Brunk, Johnny's older brother, Butler Center, in the house tonight. Seated right next to one of arguably the greatest Roncalli point guard of all time, Jimmy King. Gizzy got down the baseline and found Eastus in the corner. He drives on Looney, left it for King at the doorstep.
Yeah, nice
King
pass.
has a career-high 6 points coming in. He has 9 tonight.
Nice pass.
He has really punished the Rebels, the big man. Denny to the rim, stripped on the way up, and draws a foul. We mentioned King led the state with 18 sacks en route to that undefeated 15-0 state championship season for the Dragons in Class 5A. Denny shoots 2. First one's up and in.
New Pal's had an amazing run in football in the last 5-6 years.
Well, we were talking with our buddy Andrew Smith, who's the radio voice for the Dragons. He was telling us before the game that IU head man Tom Allen was at New Pal earlier this week to talk to King specifically and the record-setting junior fullback Charlie Spiegel, who broke the state record for touchdowns. Romine got the step on Brunk, missed the shot at the rim, but Asher straight up called for a foul. That's Daniel's third and the team's third. Update from Covenant Christian on the west side. The Lady Rebels are up 27-24 mid-second quarter against a very good Covenant Christian team. Romine's free throw is up and in.
He's got a quirky shot, doesn't he, Ron?
An 88%er, though, is Romine from the line. Rebels have outscored the Dragons 12-10, make it 12-11 from the line, but Romine's 2 free throws pushes the Dragon lead back to 3. 90 seconds into the third quarter, Rebels trail by 3, 37-34. Bronk at the right point, gets a screen from Asher. Johnny step back 3 for the tie, rolls off the rim. Denny flies in, grabs the rebound, he's tied up. And the arrow favors New Palestine.
Jacob just came out of nowhere on that and showed great effort. Wish some of that effort would convey to some of the other Rebels.
True to the top of the circle, the Eastus. Running a weave out front. Now King sets a screen for Romine, who fades back and finds True. Got the step on Donahue. Fall away shot over Asher as he hits the deck.
That's a tough shot.
Tough shot by True. He has 5, came in averaging 15. And the 5-point lead for the Dragons, their biggest.
We need to score here.
Asher in the block, scoop shot up, no good. That's a bad shot. And Asher might have been bailed out.
I was going to say the same thing.
Gizzy called for a foul on the rebound attempt as the Rebels flew in to grab the rebound. First foul on Gizzy, second on the Dragons. Bronk inbounding in the corner to Asher. Donahue yet to get open for a 3. He hit 3 on Tuesday night and has a team high 27. Bronk out between the circles. Romine picks him up on a switch. Bronk stop and go in the corner. Denny for a 3 off the rim. And Eastus with a weak side rebound. Comes Romine into the corner, out to Eastus at the right arc. Over to True. Gizzy out front. Up tight is Donahue. Asher hedged on the screen. Gizzy with the left hand in the lane. Drive and kick. True steps into a 3 that's good. The Rebels might need to think about a timeout.
I would think so, Rob.
It's an 8-point lead. We're inside 5 minutes to go, and Michael Watts will do just that.
We need to look a little too much perimeter play right now.
9-2 run for the Dragons to start the second half. The Rebels call time. We'll take one as well. 42-34. New Pal leads on the Chick-fil-A board. 4:57 to go, third quarter. We'll step out and come back after this 30-second pause.
Presents Roncalli Rebels basketball.
CBS Sports 1430, your Rebel Media Network.
Rob Brown, Gary Armbruster back with you at the Woodshed. Jerica Bean handling things for us in our CBS Sports 1430 studios. Tonight's game being streamed on the school YouTube channel.
Rob, it's a really, really critical point in the game for the Rebels. They're down 8 points. You're a 3-8 team. You start to look at each other and say, okay, what's going to happen next? You got to nip that in the bud right now. Go strong, strong, strong.
Nick Spearing is in for the Rebels, replacing Donahue. Brunk gets a high screen from Asher. Picks up his dribble, finds Looney top of the circle. Aiden facing up on True. Backs him in, nothing there. Back to Spearing. And the Rebels reload. Roncalli badly needs a bucket this trip to get their footing righted. Brunk floats to Spearing in the corner. Nick back to Johnny. Spearing being checked by Eastus, who stands 6'5". Nick just 6'1". Asher in the block. Spins to the goal, puts it up and in. Nice. He tucked his way by
Really nice
King
play by Daniel.
and was able to lay it in.
Really nice. That was critical. And we need to stop here.
42-36.
That was a
score, a stop, and a score gets you right back in it.
Yeah, that was a nice move by Daniel.
Eastus in the corner over Looney. Missed the shot,
All
rebound
right,
tapped to Denny.
Nice.
Jacob lost the handle, but he got it back. Nobody there to take it away. Now Jacob gives to Spearing on the wing. Asher in the corner, facing up on King. In a double team, scoops up a shot up and in.
I'm not sure.
Boy,
Not sure where that came from, but we'll take it.
Wow. He scooped up a shot falling toward the stage end. Long three by True was around and out. Asher rebound. That was in the bottom and popped out. Rebels within 4. Brunk to
Nice
Looney running the
pass,
floor. The
travel.
catch, and he drew the foul
Yeah, we'll take
on the
that.
catch. That foul, though, I think called on the floor. They won't give Aiden a shot. Nope, that foul on the floor.
Well, I won't say that Coach Wantz was listening to me, but he called that timeout, and before the timeout I said too much perimeter play, and then we've gone inside the Daniel 2 or 3 times in a row, and he's delivered. So that's been just a critical part of the game for us right now.
Lob into Looney. Now Denny with it left side. Denny down the baseline to Asher. Daniel facing up on Walker. In the lane, draws the foul at the rim, and shoots 2.
I really, really like the way Daniel's playing.
Walker's third, his 4th. Walker and Hook checked in after that foul on True. Asher shoots 2. Rebels have scored 4 straight, trying to chip back in it. Asher measures the first. That one is clean through the net. One more can make it a 2-point game, and that can put Asher into double figures. And both converted. 5th double-figure game of the season for Asher. 6 straight Rebel points. They're back within 2.
Good stop.
True on the far sideline. Walker flares out front to get it. Doesn't want it. Is back to Hook. Gizzy cut off on a baseline drive by Denny. Circles in the paint. Didn't buy the head fake. True steps into a 3 that's short. And Asher had the rebound poked free, but scooped up by Spearing, who gets it right back from Asher. Up the sideline, Denny in the forecourt. Denny stop and go in a double team. Drew a foul on the way up. They bailed him out. He was under the backboard and had no conceivable way to get that to the rim.
True.
And Trent Whitaker is making that exact point. He just yelled.
Yeah.
He just yelled at Josh Cook. He can't even get to the basket from there.
It all evens out, Rob.
Yep,
it all
does.
evens out.
That's Hook's second foul. And Denny has a chance to tie the game with the second free throw. So out of the timeout, the Rebels have rolled off 7 in a row.
Yeah.
Denny trying to make it 8.
Not sure how many free throws the Dragons had in the first half.
They shot 13. The Rebels shot 11.
All right.
Rebels are 6 for 6, though, here in the half. And that's been a huge part of this comeback. We're tied at 42. Our 6th tie of the game. 2.5 to go, third quarter. Gizzy stop and go drive on Spearing. Drives into a triple team. Out to Romine, who fakes. 17-footer up and in and out. Rebound Asher in the traffic. Clears it ahead to Brunk. Rebels can take a lead here. Johnny down the baseline. Shovels out to Asher. Asher had top of the key, and half the gym swallowed their Adam's apples thinking Asher was going to shoot that shot. But Brunk settles him down.
No, but Daniel Asher, I mean, he took control there and then talked.
And a foul away from the play against the Rebels.
That's just, yeah.
Steve Mazingo has the call. It's Denny. That's Jacobs' 3rd. Team 4th. That's a turnover. Gives it back to the Dragons. Update from Covenant Christian. Lady Rebels trail by 3 at the half, 34-31.
So
our guy Dan Bauer is on the scene for that.
Max Wars just came in the game.
He did indeed for Denny. He plays Romine, does Wars. Romine underneath the basket, gives to Walker, who does not want to shoot it there. Gizzy drives on Brunk, stripped loose by Spearing, but it squirts to True. He's in the lane. He falls away and puts it up and in off the board.
Pretty good
Trent
drop
Whitaker
there.
like a timeout. New Pal has regained the lead. Timeout called by New Pal. We'll go ahead and stay here. 44-42 the score with 1:38 to go in the third quarter on our Chick-fil-A board.
Rob, we'd like to thank Lindsay Petroni at Ortho Indy. Their mission is to provide the highest quality comprehensive bone, joint, spine, and muscle care to patients throughout the Midwest, the United States, and around the world. From diagnosis through recovery, their team is ready to get you back in action. Choose Ortho Indy South to be your official orthopedic provider. Lindsay does a great job for the Rebels. Lindsay Petroni.
Warren Central trying to keep that winning streak alive. They won 46 in a row, 4 away from the record. And the Warriors lead Lawrence Central 26-18. Mid-second quarter. Rebels trail by 2. New Pal called that timeout. Rebels working out front. Wars has it on the wing. Asher posting on Walker. Jump hook out of the double team, too strong. Rebounded by Gizzy.
Still not a bad look, though. That's okay.
Gizzy surveys and leaves for Romine. Romine on the wing to True. Back to Gizzy out front. Gizzy drives on Brunk. Gives to Hook down the baseline. He finds Romine in the corner for three. That's good.
Yeah.
Romine's second three of the game. 5 straight New Pal points. And the Dragons back up 5 inside a minute to go, third quarter.
Well, the Rebels busted tail to get back into the game.
Brunk,
now they got to keep it going.
down to Asher in the block. Daniel spins. He's in a double team. Shoots it over Walker, and a foul
We'll take
call.
that. We'll take it.
And the New Pal bench is outraged at that call.
I'm not sure what they're outraged about.
Walker's foul, his 4th, team 6th. Trent Whitaker just stomped away. Asher shoots 2. First one up, first one off the rim. Donahue rushing back into the game for the Rebels. Eastus in for Romine. And Raudebush is in for Walker. I was wondering if they were going to leave Walker in with 4, but now he comes out as Raudebush also in. Donahue replaces Brunk for the Rebels. 47-42 the score. Roncalli with an 8-0 run had tied it at 42. Then New Pal scored 4 straight. Asher trying to stop the burst. And the second free throw was long. The rebound tap to Eastus.
That hurt.
So the Rebels come up empty on that trip.
I'd like to see him hit at least one of those.
Dragons with the basketball and a 5-point lead as the third quarter winds down from the woodshed. Gizzy, high right in the corner. Eastus brings the dribble back out front to Hook. True has it left wing with 23 seconds to go in the quarter. And the Rebels down 5. Eastus holds. Right of the jump circle. Gizzy out front. Drifts to the near sideline against Spearing. Stationary dribbling with 10. Now 9, he gets a high screen. Picked up his dribble to Hook. He's in the lane. He throws a pass to Eastus. He's under the board. He kicks it out. Raudebush, a corner 3 that's short.
No.
And that'll do it. So the Rebels get a stop. New Pal scores the final 5 points of the period. And in the process, outscores the Rebels 14-10 in the third. We'll step out for 30 seconds and come right back. Fourth quarter around the bend after this. On CBS Sports, 1430.
We make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like. Every day, we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like.
Back there, but New Pal made some plays in the final minute and change to regain the lead.
Well, both these coaches are good coaches, well-coached teams. Michael called timeout. We went on, I believe, a 10-0 run. New Pal calls timeout. They go on a 5-0 run. That just tells you that the kids are being well-coached and they're listening, and that's why coaches call timeout.
Well, the Rebels scored just 2 field goals in that third quarter. Those both came from Asher. Rebel basketball to start the final period. Looney tried to kick in the corner to Donahue. The pass deflected and stolen by True. Rebels hustling back. True steps through the paint. Rebels strip it, but True got it back. Now Gizzy's open for a topside 3 that's wide left and rebounded by Looney. Up the floor to Denny. Jacob down to Asher and low. Daniel out of a double. Jump hook up, and he couldn't get the roll. Donahue
So
fights
close,
for it
so
off the end line. Rebel ball.
But Daniel Asher just hit. He's so close. He's so close.
Rebels begin this final quarter with Brunk. Oh, they call the foul there. I didn't know they called the foul there. The foul's on True. His third team 7th. That's a 1-on-1 situation.
Bonus.
Donahue's at the line. The 90%er.
I missed that.
Wow.
I missed that entire play.
I didn't see that either. So Donahue shoots a 1-and-1. 7:31 to go. First one up and in, as you would expect, from a guy who's 3 for 3 tonight and 27 for 29 on the season. Is that good? 27 for 29?
I think so.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Second one on the way. I jinxed him.
I can't believe
Off the back
you.
of the ring.
What the heck? 27 for 29.
The announcer jinx is strong.
I think I'd have a hard time doing 27 for 29 in the driveway.
Center Grove is all over Ben Davis, leading 47-34 on the road at halftime. 4-point lead. Romine's back in. He drives on Denny. Kicks to Hook, who's in the game. He's cut off. Brunk pokes it free. Now Hook's in trouble. Down to Eastus, posting on Looney. Aiden held his ground, but Hook Eastus with a nice flip in
nice
with the left
shot.
hand. He has 9.
Tough
And the
to
lead
stop
back
that.
to 6. Brunk, Denny, Asher, Donahue, and Looney, original starters on the floor for the Rebels. Asher backing, fading, shooting,
Look
and
at
hitting.
that.
Asher
Who is
with
this
12, 8 in the second half. Fade away from the left corner. Eastus, left corner, out there with King, Hook, Romine, and Gizzy. Hook, the only bench player in that group. 49-45, 6.5 to go. Rebels trail by 4. Dragons with a 4-point lead in the ball. Romine drives on Denny, D by Jacob. Tapped off the end line by King.
Yeah, he tapped
on the
it
missed
out.
shot. And wait a second now.
No way.
They're going to change the call and give New Pal the basketball. Michael Wantz can't believe it, as Sean West came in from 25 feet away and changed the call.
That's terrible.
Josh Cook was right
We
there
gotta
on the
get a stop
baseline.
here.
Gizzy into Hook. He drives on Donahue. Finds Eastus right side for 3. That's in and out. Asher has the rebound and King fouls him. There's the makeup call.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's an easy call
Yeah.
though. King knocked him to the deck.
What the heck?
And the Rebels are in the bonus. So Asher has a 1-and-1, as that's team 8. King's third foul. Senior manager TJ Lamarque out there to wipe the floor up.
Nice job, TJ.
One of my favorite guys.
Mine too. Well, if I had to give you a most valuable player in the second half, it'd be Daniel Asher right now. He's come out to play the second half and has a lot of nice looks.
1-and-1 here, front end cleanly through. That makes it a one-possession game with 6:12 to go. Daniel creeping closer to a career high. He has 13, 2 away. Second one up, that one is short. Rebound tapped, and who's first to it? Asher's on the floor. We've got a tie-up. There's a pile-up on the floor. All sorts of bodies hit the deck. And New Pal has the arrow. 49-46.
You're in a three-point game, and a play like that oftentimes causes lots of trouble down the road. But you had players from both teams helping each other up, so that's a good sign. You like to see that sportsmanship.
49-46. Rebels trail by 3. 6:05 to go. True's back in the game, and he has it in the left corner against Donahue. He's double teamed and fouled en route. Will they give him 2 shots? Let's see. Yep. Shooting foul call on Donahue, his second, team 5th. So True comes back into the game and immediately draws a shooting foul. 74%er is True. The first one's up and in. Rebels have outscored New Pal from the foul line 18-12. True has 11 points to lead the Dragons. Second one up, that one's good as well. 5-point lead, 51-46, 5:56 to go.
Well, you're at the point right now, it's a little less under 6 minutes to go. Every possession's critical.
Brunk lost the handle, but he got it back. Romine's up tight. Brunk to the wing, into Asher. Daniel backing, faking, shooting off the board, in and out.
Gosh.
And the rebound by Romine.
You got to have a stop here.
Gizzy has it. Runs into Asher out front, kept his dribble alive against Denny. To Eastus. Now Gizzy has it into the lane against Donahue. Driving, kicks to True. Left corner three is too strong, and Asher has the rebound. Leaves it for Bronk. Johnny surveys into the forecourt, bounce right side to Denny. Rebels trail by 5. Asher over to Bronk on the left wing. Johnny back to Asher. Takes the handoff, fakes a three. Too much traffic to get to the rim, so Johnny regroups it. Inside 5 minutes. Rebels trail by 5. 51-46. Bronx stationary dribbling out front. Now Looney flies out to the arc, facing up on Eastus. Not there. Donahue against True in the lane. Scoop shot up, no. Got his own. Put it up, blocked from behind.
Nice
foul
effort.
Call.
Really nice effort by Donahue there. He's driving to the basket. Didn't really have a great shot. Put one up and got his own rebound.
That's True's 4th. Team 9. Donahue shoots 2. 4:36 to go. First one up and in.
Thanks for not jinxing him there, Rob.
Didn't mention it. Asher has a seat. Wars his return.
Yeah,
And
Asher played a heck of a second half.
True, their leading scorer, checks out with 4 fouls. He's replaced by Hook. Donahue one more. That one is short. He's missed 2 out of 3. Came in as a 92%er. 51-47.
Well, let's see if Max Wars can make an impact here off the bench.
And a foul called in the congestion on Denny. There were 4 players cutting to the elbow, 2 for either team. Jacobs called for the foul, his 4th, team 6.
He's down there in bewilderment, Rob.
Raudebush has returned for the Dragons. Denny talking with Steve Mazingo about that whistle. Gizzy baseline left into Romine. Out front, Raudebush. Rebels need to stop. Eastus, 3 behind the screen, around and out. Rebound is tapped, but Donahue's first to it. Anthony, stop and go to the wing, needs help. Finds Brunk out front. Denny's open on the right side. He attacks to the baseline. Reverse layup up, no, but a foul call.
Nice.
On the attack, and he'll shoot 2 with 4:06 left.
That's court awareness, Rob. Jacob was open on a wing, got the ball, drove immediately to the basket, made a nice attempt.
That puts the Rebels in the double bonus the rest of the way.
Dang.
Denny missed the free throw, however. Rebels have missed 4 free throws here in the quarter, trailing by 4. It's amazing. The Rebels are down only 4. They have just 3 field goals in the entire half. Second free throw up and rolls good. Spearing's in for Denny, who's playing with 4 fouls. 51-48, back to a 1-possession lead for the Dragons.
4 minutes to go. It's critical to stop them here.
Good student sections on hand for both clubs. Romine, quick turn and shoot over Donahue. Good, that was too easy. He flashed to the left baseline and turn and shot. Donahue picked up his dribble, needs help over to Looney. 53-48, excuse me. Brunk with 3:40 to go. Out the jump circle, Michael Wantz yelling out the set that he wants. Wars flashes out to get it. Floats it over to Brunk on the wing. Out front, Donahue, a long 3. Bang! He got it, that's a big one. First 3 of the night for Donahue.
Needed that one.
Rebels needed that. And it's a one-possession game. 53-51. Now the Rebels need to stop. Raudebush, hand off to Gizzy. He's out front, pull back 18-footer. Good. That's a clutch shot.
Big play.
That's a clutch shot by a big-time player.
Yep. Well, that's what you expect. He's their leading scorer, and you come in, and he's the quarterback on the court, and that shows.
Timeout, full timeout. Called by the Dragons. We'll take one also. 55-51, 3:09 to go. Back in a minute on CBS Sports 1430. crowd here at the Woodshed, perhaps trying to get their last band of merriment in before Snowmageddon rolls in tomorrow.
Well, it depends who you listen to about Snowmageddon.
It absolutely does.
We got anywhere from 3 inches to about a foot coming, so no one seems to know what that's going to be.
There's a great meme that I saw earlier. It
know.
was Bozo the Clown standing in front of a weather map of Connecticut, and behind him the graphic says anywhere between a dusting and 10 feet.
Yes. Well, I like the one that it was a 3 loaves of bread area.
Yes.
Yes.
Denny's back in, replacing Spearing. Jacob playing with 4 fouls. Rebels with the ball down 4. 3:03 to go. Denny out front between the circles. Picked up his dribble, finds Donahue on the wing. Donahue checked by Gizzy. Rebels trying to spread the floor. Looney finds Donahue right side. Anthony the foul line cut off. Bounce to Looney in the left wing. Aiden against Roudabush, nothing there. Over to Brunk, they reset. Johnny to the top with 2.5 to go. Rebels down 4. Donahue. Denny reverses to Brunk. Johnny facing up on Romine. Driving. Up and under move. Off the window. Too strong. And rebounded by Romine. That was a tough shot. Romine played good defense.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think that's the shot we wanted.
Romine in the corner. Roudabush. Eastus is all alone to set and measure a 3. That's no good. Roudabush, though, ran it down. Now Eastus
nice
slices
pass.
to the wing. Cuts in and lays it in. That's just superior effort right there. New Pal just went harder to the ball. And they lead by 6 with 1:58 to go. Michael Wantz calls a full timeout. We'll take one as well. Stepping out for 30 seconds. We'll come right back. 57-51 the score. Back after this on CBS Sports.
Roncalli Rebels basketball
On CBS Sports 1430, your Rebel Media Network.
back out to Rob Brown.
Well, this copyrighted telecast is a production of the Rebel Media Network and Roncalli High School. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any format without the express written consent of the Rebel Media Network.
Rob, as I understand it, this is our 701st Rebel Media Network broadcast,
It
of
is
which you
indeed.
have been a part of 633 of those. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. I've been around for a few.
You have been. That's awesome.
Right side, Denny, spinning on hook, puts up a tough shot
Nice.
that rolls good.
Boy.
I'm not sure how,
I'm not sure
but he got
either.
to roll. And the Rebels back within 4, but they need stops.
Got to have a stop here.
And presuming New Pal will not be in a hurry to shoot the ball up 4, inside 100 seconds to go in the game. Rebels are out of fouls. Next Roncalli foul will put the Dragons in the bonus. Rebels are in the double bonus at the other end. Romine almost had it stolen away by Denny out front, and Trent Whitaker would like time. 30-second timeout will stay right here. 57-53 the score. 1:24 to go here in the ball game on the Chick-fil-A board.
Rob, we want to thank Chris Jockeys at Jockeys Flowers, rooted in Southside Indianapolis. Jockeys Flowers is a household name among the community and local businesses alike. Family owned and operated, Jockeys Flowers delivers quality through custom satisfaction and consistently stunning displays, baskets, and stonework. Call Chris Jockeys at 784-1614.
Well, tonight's game also being streamed on the school YouTube channel. Stefan Welsh, our director. Great student camera crew. Chance Mustin, Seth Roseberry, Jackson Barrett, all doing a great job handling things tonight for us on the video side. Appreciate you having us along with you tonight. Nick Spearing's into the game for the Rebels. Matthew True's back in for the Dragons. In the corner, Eastus against Asher. Gizzy Right side, Raudebush. Eastus out front. Ball swung to Gizzy. Have to think that New Pal won't be in any kind of hurry to shoot the ball. True drives on Asher. Got by him. Put it up, put it in. That was way too easy.
That hurt.
Back to a 6-point lead inside a minute to go. Now the Rebels have to hurry. Looney, left side, Donahue. Spearing. Right side to Brunk. Johnny drives to the bucket. Put it up, put it in. Timeout. Scoop shot by Brunk. Timeout called by the Rebels. 30-second timeout. Rebels had 2 remaining, 1 of each. We'll stay here. 59-55. 39 and 6/10 seconds to go. The Dragons tonight are 13 of 17 from the line.
Well, this is not unfamiliar territory for the Rebels, unfortunately.
Rebels have shot a season, their second highest total of the year, 27 free throws. They're 20 of 27, but they've missed 4 in the fourth quarter, and man, but they love to have a couple of those back. Heading into the fourth quarter on the west side, the Lady Rebels lead Covenant Christian 47-41.
It's good
and
to
what
hear.
our reporters tell has been a very entertaining game.
I'm sure it has.
Rebels pressing full court. Gizzy in the deep backcourt double. He finds True. He splits a double team and is fouled with 34 and 9/10 seconds to go. Now the Rebels will have to hope that the Dragons missed some free throws.
Exactly. It's what it comes down to at this point in time, whether the Dragons can hit their free throws.
Dragons have missed 4. Asher and Denny are back in for the Rebels. True is a 74%er. He's 2 for 2 tonight, so 1 and 1 here. First one up, good. Back to a 5-point advantage. 60-55. 34 and 9/10. Second one good as well. So True makes both. He checks out with 4 fouls, replaced by King. Brunk comes back to get it from Looney. Rebels do have a timeout remaining, but they need to score in a hurry. Johnny the rim, finger roll up, finger roll in, timeout. Well, that took about 5.5 seconds.
Well, and Johnny knew what he was doing. He got the ball and he was driving, so we got to have a stop here.
Rebels call time, their final timeout. We'll take our final break. 30-second break, 61-57. Rebels down 4, 28.7 seconds to go. We're back with it after this on CBS Sports 1430.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made.
What time do you have to be back to heaven?
Milto Cleaners, we're pickup artists. When it comes...
Marian.edu.
Presented by Marian University.
We're back at it. CBS Sports 1430. Here's Rob Brown.
Jeff McKenzie has come on for the Rebels, the 6'3 junior, to chase the basketball and perhaps give a foul. Rebels out of timeouts, 28 and 7/10 seconds to go. Possession arrow favors the Rebels. The Rebels foul here, or when they foul, I should say, it'll be a 1 and 1. Gizzy can run the baseline after the make. He gets it into Romine, and Brunk poked it free and a foul called. Oh, it looked like Johnny had a foul, or had a steal, but a foul called. Oh my. And had he picked that thing up, he was 4 feet from the rim.
Yeah. Well,
Johnny's 4, team 8.
Teams that are 3 and 8 don't get those breaks.
Nope. Romine's 2 for 2 tonight. Shoots a 1 and 1 here. Romine. Free one up, free one in.
Yeah.
Dragons are 5 for 5 from the line here in the fourth quarter. Back to a 5-point lead. 27 and 3/10 to go. Romine with that hitch in his giddy up. Second one good. Rebels have to hurry, out of timeout, 6-point lead. Donahue fakes to the bucket, put it up, put it in, drew the foul. Well, that's a good scenario right there for the Rebels. Chance to score with a clock stop. Romine's foul, his third. Donahue hitting the act.
Well, he hits this, and it's 1 possession game. It's what you want. You want a chance.
Rebels out of timeouts. Donahue shoots one. As Gary mentioned, free throw here makes it a 3-point game, and he does.
Let's get a steal.
63-60. True's fouled on the far sideline with 22 seconds to go.
Well, like I said before, Rob,
Spearing gives the foul, his first, team 9th.
You hope the Rebel Ghost shoo this ball away off the rim.
Yep, True is 4 for 4 tonight, all here in the quarter from the line.
You know, we're down to our last handful of home games here in the Woodshed. You think about that?
We are.
Just thought about that.
Talk about that in the postgame show. True shoots a 1-on-1. Free throw up and in. Now it's a 2-possession deficit again, and the Rebels are out of timeouts. Still 22 seconds to go. True, second one up, second one in.
Clutch.
That's clutch. 6 for 6.
Need some help.
65-60.
Oh.
Brunk in a hurry. Johnny over to Looney. Looney back to Brunk. Johnny for a long three. That's short. Rebound grabbed by Gizzy with 12 seconds to go. And Gizzy takes it into the forecourt. Fouled by Looney, and that should do it. 8.5 seconds left. Looney's first, team 10. Gizzy shoots 2, and this one is just about in the cooler. First one up and in. Dragons have cashed in from the line tonight. 9 for 9 here in this fourth quarter, and they're 8.5 seconds away from their first ever win at the Woodshed in 6 tries. Second one up, second one in. 67-60. Brunk on the run. Pull-up shot from 3 out front, no good. Rebound tapped up, no good. Rebounded by Romine, and that'll do it. So a tight one here at the Woodshed, as has been the case throughout the season. But the Rebels just not enough tonight. New Pal ices the game down the stretch from the foul line. And puts the Rebels away on the south side, 67-60. Stay tuned, we'll step out, come back, tell you all about it with the Steve's Flowers and Gifts postgame show up next on CBS Sports 1430.
Every day we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game, because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like. Every day, we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game, because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like.
Rebels fall tonight to the Dragons of New Palestine. 67-60. Before we go any further, we're past the top of the hour, so we need to step out briefly, pausing for 10 seconds to remind you you're listening to Roncalli Basketball on CBS Sports 1430.
Indy's home for hoops is CBS Sports 1430, WXNT AM Indianapolis, WZPL HD3 Greenfield, Indianapolis.
Well, the Rebels drop a 7-point decision tonight at home. Let's take a look at how the game unfolded. Tight game, as has been the case throughout much of the season. It was 6 ties, 6 lead changes on the evening. We're tied at 17 at the end of one quarter. We had 4 lead changes in, make that 5 lead changes in the second quarter. And the Rebels trailed 33-32 at the halftime break, outscored 16-15 in the period. Rebels were never able to regain the lead in the second half. We were tied at 42 after the Rebels found themselves down 8. They came out of a timeout and scored 8 straight. But then New Pal scored the final 5 points of the third quarter, outscoring the Rebels 14-10 in the period. And in the final quarter, the Rebels could get no closer than 2 at 53-51. That was a 3:25 to go, but then New Pal scored 4 straight, putting the Rebels in foul and chase mode down the stretch. And to the visitors' credit, they cashed in, going 10 for 10 from the foul line in the final quarter. Now, it did not certainly impact the outcome of the game. The Rebels were 5 of 9 from the line in the fourth quarter. But, Gary, those 4 misses certainly change how you have to play.
Absolutely.
Down the stretch by not converting those.
You keep it a one-possession game versus a 2-possession game, and it changes everything. So, you don't have to rush to get a shot. You can take your time if it's a one-possession game. So it changes a lot. And it's disappointing because this is a mirror image of many of our games this year. I'll tell you this, though, Rob. I've said this for a long time. Michael Wantz, I believe, is one of the best 1 or 2 coaches in our building.
Regardless of sport.
Regardless of the sport. I'm not sure, you would know, whether we've ever been 3-9 in his tenure.
Oh, yeah.
If we have, it's been a while.
Year 2.
So what is that?
The 03-04 team started 1-9.
Okay.
And came back.
It's been 15 years.
Went 10-11.
It's been 15 years.
Yep.
I know Michael Wantz is doing everything he can to turn this around, and we still have 10 games to go. And he's going to work his tail off with his assistant coaches to teach these kids how to play basketball and get us back on the winning track.
Well, the Rebels had 3 in double figures tonight, led by Jacob Denny's 18. Matthew True, who was clutch down the stretch. He was 6 for 6 from the line in the final quarter. He finished with the game with a team-high 18 for the Dragons. We'll take our first and only break here in the Steve's Flowers and Gifts postgame show. When we come back, we will run down tonight's totals. We'll hand out our player of the game. And we'll look ahead to a 3-game broadcast schedule next week. And hopefully have a final for you from Covenant Christian as well in the girls' score. All that coming up after this 60-second break. Back with you in a moment on CBS Sports 1430.
Every day, we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game, because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like.
Tonight's final numbers. For the visitors from New Pal, they dressed 13 players, 8 played, and 7 scored. 4 hit double figures, led by Matthew True's 18 points. Maximus Gizzi had 13 points. Dylan Romine, 12. Dawson Eastis, 11. Kyle King had a career-high 9. His previous best was 6. 3 points for Eric Raudebush, 1 point for Jack Walker. Maxon Hook played and did not score. Luke Ramsey, Austin Howell, Jacob Hockett, Justin Wrightley, and Jaden Moore were not called into service tonight. For the Rebels, they had 11 available this evening, 9 played, 8 scored. 3 in double figures, led by Jacob Denny's 18 points. Daniel Asher had 13 points, 9 of which came in the second half. 10 for Anthony Donahue. He scored 8 in the final quarter. 6 points for Johnny Brunk, 4 points for Aiden Looney, 4 points also for Nick Speary, and 3 points for Max Wars. Chuck McGinsey played in the final minute, did not score. Thomas Felmuth and Aiden Leffler were not called into action. Both teams connecting 21 times from the foul line. The Rebels were 21 of 28. That's their second highest free throw attempt total of the season. Meanwhile, New Pal was 21 of 25. Rebels hit 3 3-pointers. Jacob Denny, Max Wars, and Anthony Donahue all connecting. New Pal hit 6 3-pointers. Matthew True and Dylan Romine hit 2 apiece. Eric Raudebush hitting 1, and Dawson Eastis hit 1. So, Gary, we talked about free throw attempts and how New Pal came in averaging 25 a game, or 24 a game. Rebels just 15. So that certainly was a pregame concern. The Rebels shot 3 more free throws, and that's even with them intentionally fouling at the end of the game. But you can make the case that New Pal maybe won the game from the three-point line. Right. Outscoring the Rebels by 9 in a 7-point contest.
Well, they were 10 for 10 in the fourth.
10 for 10 in the fourth quarter. Yep.
So those were clutch free throws. When they had to have them, they made them. So.
Well, we're joined by Rebel head coach Michael Wantz here on the postgame show. As soon as we get coach's microphone all squared away, we'll commence with the conversation. Coach, there were tonight was like a lot of games this season in that there were down the stretch, let's say the final 5 minutes, there were 1 or 2 times, maybe 3 possessions where if the ball bounces a different way, it completely changes how you have to approach the final 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, a couple of their free throws I thought looked long out of their hands, and a couple of ours I thought looked good. But I think we missed 4 free throws in the fourth, and I assume you were when you just said 10 for 10 in the fourth.
10 for 10, yeah.
They're a nice veteran team that's going to have a lot of guys back. I mean, when you have good guards, that always helps. And I told the guys in the locker room that this is not a step back from Tuesday because we lost. I thought we can take a lot of really nice things away. Our offense flowed. Our plays seemed to be working a little bit. We got on the floor. I thought we rebounded. I have to look at the stats, but I thought we rebounded well on both ends of the floor. We kept the ball alive a couple times offensively, and there was a couple unfortunate offensive rebounds for them, but I thought for the most part we handled it and rebounded it.
Were you pleased with how your team responded in terms of they were largely able to get the game at their pace, yet you were still in the game playing their pace.
Yeah. I think this team can play different paces, whether it's, going small and running or slogging it down a little bit with some bigger guys in there. We responded, you would know better, like maybe an 8-0 run down there when we went. When we went down 8, came back and tied it up. And, it's a process with these guys. We've shown more personality. We're showing more flavor, as Coach Brown calls it. And, we just got to keep building.
Have you seen, I know you mentioned it in the postgame that you really liked it Tuesday night. Did you see a continuation of the communication?
Absolutely, yeah. With any time, like if you don't communicate when you switch, you're going to get exposed pretty quick. We had some breakdowns in our switching because, the other team has a coach too, and the other team has a plan too. So it's not like, well, why is our switching not working? Well, they've got a plan as well. So, but yeah, we're saying the right things. Guys are asking the right questions. Guys have noticed, like, hey, do you want me to guard 11? Because I know Jake has 4. We're just hearing the right things from our guys, and we just got to finish.
And the way that you answered that question suggests that was not the case at the beginning of the year.
No, we were within ourselves at the beginning of the year. We've come ever since Christmas break. I think we've kind of coming outside of ourselves, started playing for each other a little bit, rather than just been so thoughtful of ourselves.
So when you came out in the second half, it seemed like there was an emphasis to get the ball to Daniel Asher underneath. Was that intentional, or how did that work out?
Yeah, it needs to be. We certainly called the set out of the half for him, and then they had elected to play behind. A couple plays that we have, we need the other team to fight around in the post. New Pal wasn't doing that, so we couldn't run some of those lob plays. But and then Danny got going. I think that's another thing that's building on. Our guys understand who kind of has the hot hand a little bit.
Well, I thought he played really, really well. A few of those tips were really close. He hits 1 or 2 of those, maybe it's a different ball game.
Different ball game, yeah, you never know. Yeah.
So does it help or hurt your team to not have to turn around and play tomorrow night, and now you've got 8 days to get ready for your next game?
That's a good question. I don't know. I do like knowing already, so we can plan rather than we're not going back in there to do scouting because we think we might play tomorrow. Right. But rest is always good this time of year. Now that's going to put another game obviously somewhere else.
Right.
But
well, one of the things that we mentioned in the pregame show, with all the weather pushback, the city tournament gets pushed back, and now you can go see Ritter live on Monday against Cathedral.
And they're supposed to play Park on Wednesday, so they might be playing Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week. So I'd be okay with that.
Coach, we appreciate you taking a few moments for us, and we'll catch up with you next week.
All right, guys. Hello to everybody in Union City. Take care.
That's Rebel head coach Michael Watts. We appreciate him taking a few moments for us here on the Steve's Flowers and Gifts post-game show. We'll keep it here and turn our attention now to our player of the game, brought to us by Ortho Indy South. A couple different ways we could go. Daniel Asher was really, really good in that second half, but the guy that kept the Rebels in it from start to finish was Jacob Denny.
I agree. Jacob's a good player, and he's kind of goes. The Rebels go as he goes. I haven't seen him play a whole lot this year, but I really like his game. As you mentioned, Daniel Asher, maybe 1A, I guess. I really liked what we tried to do with him. I tell you what, there was a moment in the second half when they took Daniel out, and I thought the perimeter game really, really struggled. And, that was a part in the game where maybe you get him back in there and it opens things up a little bit. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to second-guess Michael because he knows a lot more than I do. But
well, this is not the type of team where one guy can carry. It's going to be a lot of times the player that ends up as the high scorer on a given night is going to be the guy that has the most favorable matchup.
Yeah.
And tonight for Denny, I mean, it was favorable for Asher in the second half, but for Denny, throughout most of the game, he was being defended by a player that he could turn the corner on and get to the rim.
Right. I thought I was happy that the bench was productive almost from the get-go. Brandenburger played a nice, had some nice minutes, really helped us out rebounding. Max Wars came out, and again, you don't have to do a lot, you just have to be a little productive, and I think they were.
Well, Jacob Denny, he is tonight's Ortho Indy South star of the game in his 9th double-figure scoring effort in 12 games this season.
All right, Rob, we want to thank Harding Porman, as a leader and innovator in the printing industry. Harding Porman Group's reputation as a powerful printing resource speaks volumes about who they are as a company, their passion and commitment. Harding Porman Group, changing the way you think and feel about printing.
Well, before we say goodnight, let's update the records. New Pal wins its 3rd in a row, improves to 4-3 on the year, 8-4 overall. They'll be in action. Their game tomorrow night at Franklin has not been postponed. That almost assuredly will be. They'll be back at it a week from tonight in a conference game at home against Yorktown. Meanwhile, the Rebels, with tomorrow's game at Center Grove being rescheduled to the 5th of February, they'll be back at it a week from tonight when Cardinal Ritter comes calling to the woodshed. That's one of 3 broadcasts we'll have for you next week. Rebels with the loss fall to 3-9, 2-5 here on the home court. Our broadcast schedule next week, we'll be back with you on Thursday night for the Lady Rebels season finale, regular season finale. Columbus North is here. That game will be on RebelMediaNetwork.com and streamed on YouTube. Pregame show 7:15, tip time at 7:30, and then the boys will have 2 games next weekend. Friday here against Cardinal Ritter on RebelMediaNetwork.com and CBS Sports 1430, as well as streamed on YouTube. And the following night, we'll head south to Greenwood. That'll be an audio-only game on RebelMediaNetwork.com and CBS Sports 1430. That's our 3 games for you next week. Also this weekend, Sunday night at 6 o'clock is the draw for the girls' state tournament. So by Sunday night, we'll know the path for the girls. That state tournament begins the final week in January. And the Lady Rebels will be in a 6-team sectional at Southport with the host Cardinals, Perry Meridian, Ben Davis Pike, and Decatur Central. As far as the all-time series goes with Roncalli and New Pal, Rebels still lead at 9-3, but New Pal has now won 2 in a row, combined with their win last year at home, and the win tonight is their first ever here at the Woodshed. Tonight's broadcast has been...
Wait.
You going to wrap up? Okay, go ahead.
We're not done yet.
Okay.
We were going to talk about our last few games in the Woodshed.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so as you may or may not have been aware, a new gym is being built right behind us. Just to the north
yep,
of the Woodshed existing, and that gym expected to be open for the 2019 or 2020 basketball season. And we mentioned the girls have 1 more home game remaining. The boys have just 3. So we're down in theory, and that gym is supposed to be ready for next year's basketball opener. So supposedly, we're hopeful that just 4 games to go here at the Woodshed, and that will bring certainly a close on the boys' side, a close to 50 years of basketball in this building.
Well, actually longer than that, Rob.
50 years of Roncalli basketball.
Right. Okay,
yes.
I'll give you that. This gym was built in 1962, the same year that yours truly was born, so I know it's 56 years old. And it's got a lot of history, and we're going to miss her, but she's not going anywhere.
That's correct. And the first varsity basketball game played in this gym was on December 5th, 1964.
Okay.
When the Charlton Rams played Clarksville Providence.
How about that? I was not aware of that.
They were still phasing the classes in. So
yeah.
The first varsity game
yeah, that makes sense.
was December 5th, 1964 in this gym. So almost 55 years later, 44 and a half at least. That'll be the 54 and a half at least. We'll have the final few home games here at the Woodshed. So we hope you can come out and make at least one of those. The boys will be back here at home next Friday night. In the meantime, we appreciate you being with us. We appreciate Gary being alongside. They're glad you could sit in. We'll look forward to seeing you at Center Grove.
It was a blast.
We hope you have enjoyed tonight's ball game as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. Tonight's game has been a production of the Rebel Media Network. The executive producer is Gary Armbruster. Our radio side producer, Katie Ayers. Our video director tonight, Stefan Welsh. Our student crew on the video side, Chance Mustin, Seth Roseberry, and Jackson Barrett. Our studio engineer at CBS Sports 1430 is Jerica Bean, doing a great job for us tonight, keeping us on track and on time. And our technical director on the Rebel Media Network is Miss Darla Coop. For Gary Armbruster, I'm Rob Brown. Again, our final tonight from the Woodshed. New Pal defeats Roncalli by the score of 67-60. Till we talk to you next time, on behalf of our entire Rebel Media Network crew, it's been Rob Brown saying So long, everybody.